Attention everyone, you can buy books at the dollar store. Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about something that I don't think a lot of people really know about, and that is the fact that you can buy perfectly good books at the dollar store. So here in Canada, we have a few different chains of dollar stores. I think the best one and the most notable one is probably Dollarama. I don't know if you guys have that in the States or in any other countries for that matter, but yeah, Dollarama is awesome. We also do have like Dollar Tree, which I know you guys have in the States. I don't know if Dollar Tree has books. I think I saw on someone else's channel that they do have books. So I think I might go and check out the Dollar Tree down the hill pretty soon. But for this video, we're basically focusing on Dollarama because there's a lot of them around here. Just in my general area, there are 4 Dollaramas, 2 of which are actually just like right across the street from one another. So I have no idea why there's 2, but there is. And basically what I did was I just decided that I would try and find one book that I was interested in from each of the 4 Dollaramas in my general area. The first book that I found was a book that I recognized purely from the author's name, and that was Children of the Fleet by Orson Scott Card. So this book basically is a book that takes place in the Ender's Game universe. If you don't know, Orson Scott Card was the author of the Ender's Game series, and this book takes place kind of somewhere in between the goings-on of the Ender's Game books. There's more about it on the inside flap. But yeah, basically this book follows the story of a kid named Dabeat, which is like the coolest name ever. I think that's how you say it. And Dabeat is basically just like a super smart kid who really wants to go to Fleet School. The thing is, he doesn't actually believe he'll get into Fleet School because it seems like the only people who really get into Fleet School are those that are like the kids of Fleet personnel. So it's kind of like they promote from within kind of thing. So he doesn't think he has a chance of getting to Fleet School until one day he gets interviewed for Fleet School and gets in. So one of the reasons that I chose this book, aside from knowing the author's name, is the fact that as somebody who hadn't really started getting into reading until this year, I have this weird opportunity, I guess, to pick up books by famous authors that maybe are not their most popular series, or maybe are like spin-offs of their most popular series, like this one, and I could actually choose to read this book before I read the Ender's Game series. And I kind of want to do that with this, and that's a big reason why I picked this up. And I want to see if I can read this book and understand this book without having read the Ender's Game series, because I think that's a really big test on an author, right? Is like, are you putting this book out just relying on the popularity of your already established world, or does this book hold up on its own to where somebody like me comes across it, maybe they don't know that Ender's Game is a thing and they want to just read this book. Does it hold up? All of these books were under $4, by the way. Children of the Fleet was a $3 purchase for me. The next book that I picked up at one of my local Dollaramas was A Most Magical Girl by Karen Foxley. This is a children's novel, and this follows the story of a girl named Annabelle Gray. She's basically being brought up to be like a very proper young lady in Victorian England. I believe this takes place in London, until something happens where she has to go and live with her aunts, who are kind of living on the wrong side of the tracks kind of thing. And they run a magic shop, like a witch's magic shop in London. Annabelle ends up finding out that there's somebody going around trying to get rid of all of the good magic in the world. And as it turns out, she's kind of prophesized to be the most good magical girl in this world, and so she has to figure out a way to stop them. One of the reasons why I decided to throw a children's novel in here is because I wanted to make sure that I was diversifying the different types of books that I looked for at the dollar store, and I also wanted to know like if there was a good selection of books for different types of readers, or readers of different age groups. So yeah, if you're on a budget but you still want to get books for yourself or books for people in your life, books for children, for example, the dollar stores have amazing selections on books, especially for kids. They have tons of stuff for kids, so definitely check that out. The next book that I picked up was The Bedlam Stacks by Natasha Pulley. This is the same author that did The Watchmaker of Filigree Street, which I've heard amazing things about, so when I saw that, I was really excited. I found this book for $3 at Dollarama, so a total steal. So this book takes place in the 1800s, and it follows a character named Merrick, and I believe he's described as an ex-smuggler for the East India Company. So basically there's somebody who tries to hire Merrick to go to Peru and sequester this stuff called quinine, which is basically really important in creating the treatment for malaria. However, Merrick has heard that there are others who have taken this job and gone to Peru and not returned. So he's kind of a little bit iffy on whether he should take the job. This book is actually rated pretty darn highly on Goodreads, and that was one of the deciding factors for me of whether I would pick it up or not. Also, it's beautiful, and it makes amazing Instagram pictures, so I had to pick it up. only for that, although I am really excited by the story and I do want to check it out. The last dollar store book that I picked up was Above the Timberline by Gregory Manchis. Now this one really caught my eye because it was kind of really different. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is an illustrated novel. This whole novel is like beautifully illustrated by the author. So the story of Above the Timberline follows a guy named Wes. Now Wes's father was a very, very famous explorer who went up into this place called the Frozen Waste and eventually disappeared. It's not until about 6 months after his father's disappearance that Wes ends up getting a note in the mail that sets him on a journey to go and look for his father up in the Frozen Waste. I, for one, am super excited to kind of like snuggle up with this maybe in the winter time. I know that that's kind of far off, but this is definitely a wintry type book. So guys, these are the 4 books that I found at my local Dollaramas. I highly encourage you guys to go and check out your local Dollarama or your local dollar store in general and go and see what kind of stuff you can find there, because these are all books that I am really excited for and all had pretty good reviews on Goodreads that I again got for less than like $4. So guys, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, do not hesitate to like and subscribe for future videos. Also, leave a comment down below if you have anything to say about any of the books that I found. Also, let me know if you've ever found any cool books at the dollar store. I'd be really interested to know. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!